Good morning, GLO Preemies families. I am your president and founder, Ashley Randolph, and the mother of 3 children, all born premature. We are excited today to have all of you here at our first annual Family Training Day conference. We are excited to learn, network, and grow together with all of you. Before we get started, we have some housekeeping rules. Number 1, please stay muted the whole time of the conference. Number 2, if you have any questions or any comments, please place them in the chat box. And number 3, we will have different polls during the conference. Please do them in the 2-minute allotted time, and 3 families at the end will get chosen to get a $25 Visa gift card for their participation. We have some important news before we get started with our first speaker. Important news number 1, we will be going on a NICU tour this fall and winter. Please keep a lookout at our website, www.glopreemies.org, or our Instagram and Facebook account, GLO Preemies, to make sure that you find out when we are coming close to you. We also have one more important news. If you are interested in our 3-step program that stays with families from high-risk pregnancy through the NICU until the child turns 18, or if you need help filling out your paperwork so that you can begin using our services, please email us at glopreemies@gmail.com to get started right away. Just put in the email your name and information and let us know you need to speak with a case manager. Let's get started with our fun day. Our first speaker comes from Sacramento, California. Her name is Nicole McRae. Miss Nicole is passionate and she is a preemie and education advocate. Ms. McRae has facilitated several diversity and race equity discussions, as well as being a rising NICU speaker. In 2009, Ms. McRae delivered a preemie who in 2016 was put on medical leave for over 2 months to recover from an illness. While the medical professionals aided in her daughter's healing, no one addressed the education sliding that was occurring. That ordeal set forth Free to Read and Healing Beyond the Hospital. She's an educator for over 15 years and holds degrees in anthropology and health and general science. She is a member of the American Anthropological Association, former CDF Freedom School teacher, reading specialist, poet, and a proud preemie parent advocate. And she is based in my hometown, Sacramento, California. Ms. Nicole, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Miss Nicole, for that wonderful presentation. Every parent, especially one who is a preemie parent, loves to get information on what we can expect when our child are in grade school. So I love that you came here today and you were able to share any information and any tips that you could with us. Thank you, Miss Nicole. Families, we have our next presenter. Please help me introduce Miss Joyce Cooksey. Bishop Joyce Cooksey James, a native of Detroit, Michigan, a graduate of Detroit Public Schools and Michigan State University. She completed her graduate work at the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California, and her seminary work at Golden Gate Baptist Theological Seminary. Dr. Cooksey taught 35 years in public school as a research specialist, special education, both in Michigan and in California. Her last placement was with Fortune Schools as a resource specialist. While a teacher, she began to pastor for churches and planted 2 churches. First, CME of Modesto, St. Mark's CME of Dos Palos, Amos Memorial of Los Angeles, and Living Waters of Stockton, California. While pastoring in Los Angeles, she trained 17 women in organizing home day care centers and began the one component of this program, which was to counsel and assist these women reach their God-given potentials. Another program she began was One Church, One School program at Amos Memorial CME Church of Los Angeles. She encouraged members of the church to partner with schools chosen by both the church and the district. In order to give assistance to teachers and students, she addresses with the church community both the academic and social needs of the students through her trainings. Currently, Bishop Cooksey is retired from public schools. However, she continues to serve students individually. And additionally, she is a co-pastor of Impact Bible Ministries of Vallejo, California. She is currently a member of California Forward, an organization that encourages ingenuity, creativity, and the use of the deliberative process to move the state forward in the 21st century with people of color and youth. GLO Preemies family, please give a warm welcome to Bishop Joyce Cooksey James. Thank you so much, Bishop Cooksey, for coming and helping us with what should we do next in our career after we have a child who was premature, whether it was 2 weeks ago they were born early or 5 years ago they were born early. And we really appreciate you coming and sharing that information with us. GLO Preemies families, please help me introduce our next speaker, Miss Michelle Smith. Michelle Smith is a dynamic, charismatic individual. She is a credentialed educational psychologist of 20 years, currently working in a local school district serving 7 K-12 schools overlooking Northern California and the Sacramento, Elk Grove, and Natomas communities. She is also a retired associate professor of over 11 years at Los Rios College District. Michelle earned a master's degree in both counseling psychology and in educational psychology. She specializes in and is a certified clinical hypnotherapist of 20 years, as well as a counselor and group program facilitator. She is currently regularly active throughout Northern California, representing the Miss California Elite Virtuous Women Pageant Program, making appearances while speaking, volunteering, and being honored as a woman who continues to successfully balance her education, career, family life, and volunteerism with grace and beauty. Michelle has studied psychology of life, living, and the ministry of serving and helping others. Through this gift, she has authored a series of workbooks called Timeless Healing, Therapeutic Stories for Children, Incentives for Behavioral Change. Michelle and her staff facilitate psychoeducational workshops serving veterans and their families set plans, reach goals, and establish healthy relationships. She is rich in love, but most importantly, she is a wife of 25 years, mother of 3, and a grandmother to 6 boys and 6 girls. She refers to them as her grand gifts. Michelle is also an ordained ministry chaplain, and above all, she is a child of God. Her tagline is Dreams Need Action. Change your mind, change your behavior, take action. And with that being said, we are going to take action and introduce Miss Michelle Smith to the stage. Thank you for being here with us.
Good day. This is Michelle McCowan Smith. Welcome. I'm here to talk to you today about self-care. What do you know about taking care of yourself? That's one of the most important things you have in life. Yourself. If you can't take care of you, then how in the world are you going to take care of anyone else? So, I am the proud owner of a legacy, Community Trauma Services. I do services. Subtitle, Timeless Healing. Healing from day one all the way up to, my father passed away a couple of years ago at 88. So throughout the lifespan, we need to care for ourselves. Serving our communities, the community trauma services, meaning everywhere we live, everywhere we go, we need to come together as families and understand that we all experience trauma at some time or another in our life. So, the purpose of this is to help healing, help develop coping skills, help understand where our pain is coming from, and the passion that we have for life, and the possibilities of healing through natural resources and getting better. And that comes from psychoeducational learning, something you put in your head. So the objectives for this program is to learn to self-assess, develop some coping skills, develop a personalized care plan, reduce and eliminate any anxiety, being extra anxious for no reason, and to help you develop a confidence mindset. So, family trauma, what causes family trauma? Guilt, shame, mistakes that were made, family secrets. Don't tell, because people will look at us badly. Don't hold secrets like that. A lot of secrets in our families, they hurt others. So a question a mother in the NICU might ask, why is my baby here? How long will my baby be here? Who is your support system, family? Do you know who your support system is? Do you know if you have a confidant, somebody that you can talk to and share with? What did you do wrong? There's no guilt, no shame. You didn't do anything wrong. What is wrong with my baby? I don't know. Who am I? Who are you? This is a picture of me. When you look at this, who do you see? Do you see a young lady that has had divorce twice, lost her career, lost a home, lost a child to the streets, lost the first grandchild to the streets? Knowing something about panic attacks, depression, surviving through changes in life. Do you know that every few years change, and that you are the driver of your car, so you need to make sure that you understand what the changes. Can you see me? I was brokenhearted. Distress communication. Did you know that prayer works? If you don't give up, know the change is coming. Set goals, make plans. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. But this is a woman that is strong in spirit and strong in faith. I use love, forgiveness, and communication in order to reach people and strengthen my relationships. It's most important. I wanted to share something really special with you. I'm not the mom of a preemie. I know many moms that have had preemie babies, and I have experienced secondhand some of the pain of having a preemie. But this is my story about my preemie, and she is my niece. As a newborn, she came here very, very fragile. 32 weeks gestation. Guess what? This is the picture in the middle. That's her and her first cousin. Of course, her first cousin is about 12 or 14 years older than her. And this is her now. When I say now, I mean about a couple months ago or so. She's a college student. She's gone through learning disabilities, expressive receptive language disorder, special education support. But right now, and back then, her mother was her #1 fan. And that's what moms do, that unconditional love. But they push, and they push, and they open opportunities for possibilities. But one thing we need to remember, when we change roles between being a mom and being a teacher, you code switch. How do you feel? How do I feel? Self-care, understanding your feelings. So this is just a picture to help you take a look at some ways people look at you when you're having those moments. You make a face, but you don't know. Mean mugging or just having these faces that people don't understand, and you've got this stuff on the inside. You can't see your face, but everybody else, they can see your face. How do you feel? People can tell when you're bored. People can tell when you're confident, when you know what you're working with. So let's shift the conversation from resistance, anxiety, distress. Understanding yourself is the best thing. Bringing about positivity, possibilities, and change so that we can have some unity in relationships. Know how you feel. How you feeling today? And if you can have joy in you, you most likely can spread the joy to others. So these are just a few words that we can use to express our emotional feelings. Those are feelings on the inside. They're not physical feelings, they're emotional feelings. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into feelings, and these are some thoughts. You can have physical symptoms, headaches, dizziness, rapid heartbeat. How do you feel? Shortness of breath, irritable. So when you're thinking about how you feel, what's your key concern? What's going on with you right now? What's going on? What is your problem? What is your trigger? What sets you off? Do you know your triggers? Stabilize your anxiety level. Understand who you are. Implement relaxation activities. Be your own best caregiver. That will strengthen your ability to care for others, especially that new baby, because whatever it is that's going on in you, that baby just kind of like, pulls it out of you. They can feel you. If you're feeling anxious, your baby can feel your anxiety. If you're feeling peace, that baby can feel that comfort and peace and that love that you're oozing. So babies are resilient. How do you choose to reduce your stress? How do you choose to reduce your anxiety? Is there anything called positive self-talk in your vocabulary, in your life? Like the young people say, I'm pop my collar. I'm wonderful. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's one of my favorites. But positive self-talk comes around when you have positive things going around. You have to plan. Be intentional. Debrief. Consult with somebody. Do you have a confidant? Maybe your mom. That's some people's favorite. Who's your BFF? Mine was my dad. I was daddy's girl. I was number one daughter, and I was daddy's girl. But maybe you have a best friend. Maybe you have a partner. Maybe you have a significant other. Maybe you just have a BFF, somebody that you can share. And debrief. When you have a hard day or something bad happens around, what do you do to lift your spirits? Go have some ice cream? That's one way out. Have a cool treat to lift your spirits? Or I used to show Laurel and Hardy movies. A good laugh will always lift your spirits. What about regroup your mindset? Think about what happened and figure out what's your role in the process. And then realize sometimes it's just okay to be tired. It's okay that things didn't just go your way, that something different could have been happening, that you could change what you're thinking. So I like to talk about deep breathing. It doesn't work for everybody, but deep breathing can be very helpful. It can be very helpful. It can cleanse what's going on. So you have to take air in through your nose and exude it through your mouth. But I wanted to talk about a day. Take a day in your life. Do you eat 3 meals a day? Maybe you don't eat three meals a day. Maybe you eat 2. But do you eat when you're hungry and nourish your body? Your brain needs nourishment. Your body needs nourishment. There needs to be a balance. So in order for you to function and think and be healthy, and your internal organs, your kidneys, your liver, all of that, your body needs nourishment. Your brain, drink water from the time you wake up to the time you lay down. Drink water in between meals and with your meals. And another real powerful tool, journal. Write notes. Because if you write it down, you remember it. And sometimes what's good is a treat for me. I make myself a to-do list every day about what I want to do and what I can do. And it doesn't matter that I don't finish everything, but there are things that come to mind that need to be done, so they will be done over a period of time. But then at the end of the day, I can check off and be grateful for those things that I was able to accomplish. But I thank God every day for endorsing me, for blessing me, for vindicating me, for giving me victory and having another day that I can walk and smile. So read, pray, and have devotional time. Those are powerful. Those are good things to light up your life, to give you a flow. Your day does not have to be the same every day. However, you want to start with some kind of routine so that you can actually feel good about and know what your day is going to be like. What's your day going to be like? Oh, I start out my day, I start with prayer. I end with prayer. I start with prayer, meditation, a little bit of exercise, and I make myself a to-do list. And then I start work. And it flows, because I have a list. I could check off things that I need to be responsible for, and then I integrate a couple of things that I want to do. Like I might decide dinner. Sometimes I forget about dinner because I forget to take something out of the freezer. Then I'm like, oh my goodness, how's that working for me? Because nothing's thought out, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to eat, or what I want to eat, or what's available to eat, or do I have any money to get something to eat? What am I going to do? I'm going to find something, because my taste buds are not always consistent. So you're not always hungry. You have ups and downs with what you want to eat, where you want to eat, who you're going to eat with, or what changes. Sometimes you go with the flow. But if you have an idea of what your life is like, and you set healthy boundaries, and don't let somebody push you off your horse all the time, you'll have a good day. You'll have less frustration. You'll be able to breathe. And when you breathe, breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Deep breathing exercise, it releases toxins. It's a cleansing. So what happens is if you get angry, take a deep breath. And when you let that breath out, what has happened is you've actually put some oxygen in to your brain, filled your lungs, and then you release out all the toxins, the poison, the negativity, and you feel a little bit better. But what it helps you do is to pass a thought. You get to think. Then you don't have to be reactive. You're not reactive. You just continue to be able to think and respond through a situation. So back to those positive affirmations. What do you know about yourself? I am amazing. I am a masterpiece. I'm God's masterpiece. I think a lot of me, huh? Well, it comes from I am the mother of 3, 2 natural births and 1 bonus child. I am the grandmother of 14, 12 natural, 1 set of twins in there, 1 surrogate child, he's a bonus child, 1 bonus grandbaby on the way, and I'm full of love, so I have to build this legacy of love all around me. I have 1 sister. I have a mother living at this time. My father passed away just recently, and we had to help him through his transition. And in helping him, I had to take care of myself so that I could be available for him. And at this time, I'm a caregiver for my mother, along with my sister. We're both caregivers. And we have to take care of ourselves. So we take turns, tag teaming, and figuring out who's the best fit for that day, or what time of day, and what mother needs. And so we really kind of planned that out, and that works. So I can be all those things, and those are things that I do. I'm an author. I'm an educational specialist. I'm an educator. I'm a parent. I'm a wife of 26 years. So communication is very important when I look at all these relationships and all these different people in my life. And I share an office with several people in a school district, but I share that office. And personalities run rampant. Everybody doesn't like the same thing at the same time. And we're not always doing the same thing. We sometimes have to agree to disagree. And so frustration is one of those things that we take on when we're overwhelmed and too much is going on and we can't stop and think. And then having a new baby, there's just so much you have to think about when you have to tend to every little thing that they need, because you have to think of them and their needs. However, if you don't think of you and your needs, their needs aren't going to get met. So make sure you take care of you. Make sure that you can smile when you need to smile. Make sure that you breathe so that you can make sure that your baby's breathing. Make sure that that love and that heart, that heartbeat, is not all head knowledge. Because head knowledge sometimes will stump you and it's kind of dry. How about make sure you have heart knowledge, that heartbeat. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And one more thing, I'd like to say for self-care, if any of you like music, think about music. What type of music that's uplifting that you could actually listen to from time to time put through your day? I use gospel music, so I love Hezekiah Walker. I love Marvin Sapp. I love a lot of stuff. But here are some positive affirmations that will make a difference. If you can choose 3 and take 3 and use them every day for a week, I am successful at whatever I do. That doesn't mean you're perfect. It means that you're working toward doing the best you can. I feel wonderful and alive. I feel the joy of abundance. I speak with confidence and calm assurance. I am healthy and happy. I have a lot of energy. I radiate happiness. I am successful at whatever I do. Everything is getting better every day, and my mind is calm. If you could find 3 that you like and say them every day for a week, and then pick another 3 and say them every day for a week, you will notice the difference in how your spirit is living. But just every day, even if it's just once a day, give yourself 3 positive affirmations. Thank you, God, for endorsing me. Everything you say speaks to your life. So I want to encourage you to speak life into your situations. Those things that weigh heavy on you from the family that cause distress and negativity, move past that. You don't have to live that. That's not who you are. You don't have to own that. That's not who you are. Who you are is what's in your heart. What are you going to bring out? I'm winning. Maybe I didn't win the lotto today, but I'm winning. I'm winning in life because I get to wake up every day. And I get the opportunity to speak my voice and share some love to you. So my mind is calm. I feel wonderful and alive. And good flows to me, good flows from me to you. Thank you. This is Michelle McCowan Smith, author, chaplain, and educational psychologist. honored to be able to speak to you. Be blessed and take care. Be peaceful, intentionally, on purpose. Be in love on purpose. Take care till we meet again.
Thank you, Miss Michelle, for that great presentation and helping our families know what to do, and also for our children. Just self care can be used for the child, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. Even your doctor could use some self care tips sometimes. So thank you for that, Miss Michelle. It's always great to hear more information about that. Now, before we take our first 10-minute break, we have two things to do. The first one is we need to take our very first poll. If you look down on your screen, to the right at the bottom, it says activities. If you click that button, you will see polls. Please click polls, and you will have 2 minutes to answer the first question. Thank you all for taking the poll. Every time we ask a question or give a survey, it is always to help us be a better organization to better serve you. Before we go on our break, the last thing that we have to do is get to know me. My name's Ashley Randolph, president and founder of GLO Preemies, as well as the Alliance for Black NICU Families. I had my first child at 34 weeks to the day premature. I was also a senior in college with the inspiration goal of being an OBGYN one day. That was cut short with my first preemie. My second child was born 4 years later in 2014. She was also born at 34 weeks. My third child was born at 36 weeks. I actually made it longer. But she was still underweight and had to go in the NICU. With all three, I suffered horrible severe HG, and they could not find a way to stop it, where I was sick every 15 minutes and lost 30 pounds, never gained weight. I never had the same doctor beginning to end, and because of my preterm contractions, always starting at 4 months and not knowing when I would not be hospitalized, I never had the opportunity to have a baby shower. That is why I created GLO Preemies, so no other family will ever have to feel alone or even have to sit there and wonder, what do I do next? We have a complete family centered program that serves mom, dad, and the baby with career support, mental health support, bereavement, IEP, tutoring, financial support, transportation support, whatever you need. We have a mobile NICU store that will be opening in 2 weeks. So hurry and get in with your case manager so that you can accumulate points that can be in return used to buy items from our mobile NICU store for free. You're using your points. It's a points based system only, and we are excited to offer it to you. But all you have to do is just regularly meet with your case manager, get your points, and then when you need something, just go on our website and say, I need paper towels and wipes today. And if you're local and we have access to you locally, we will drop it off at your front door. And if you stay out of state or too far from us locally, then we will mail it to you. Don't worry, it's coming. We are here for you and we are always one call away. Now, with that being said, we are going to head on to our 10-minute break, and I look forward to seeing you all when we get back. Welcome back from your break, and I hope that you enjoyed it. We have another great presenter coming right from our sponsor, Sobi, and we just are so happy to have her. Her name is Tara Gonzalez. And not only is her name Tara Gonzalez, but Dr. Tara Gonzalez. And we are so happy and thrilled to have her here with us. Dr. Tara Gonzalez, MD, is a general pediatrician and the senior medical director of the specialty care division at Sobi North America. Prior to coming into this industry, she practiced clinical medicine for 18 years, the last 10 in solo practice at Arbor Pediatrics. She served as the Assistant Medical Director of Children's Medical Services in Pensacola, Florida, has been a clinical professor of pediatrics for the Florida State University College of Medicine, and Dr. Tara is a graduate of Spelman College, woohoo, as well as Meharry Medical College, woohoo, one of my favorite medical schools. She also did her pediatric residency training at Medical College of Virginia and Howard University Hospital. GLO Preemies families, please help me give a warm welcome to Dr. Tara Gonzalez.
Hello. Thank you for the opportunity to present to your group today. We will be discussing our commitment to RSV awareness. My name is Tara Gonzalez. I'm a senior medical director at Sobi North America, representing the Medical Affairs Division. I represent specialty care as well as Synagis. The only disclosure I have is that I am an employee of Sobi North America. Putting the patient first. Sobi has developed and delivered innovative treatments that transform lives. Listening to the patient voice guides our development to suit changing patient needs. Engaging in community network provides insights into patient and caregiver needs, and partnerships with stakeholders allows us to bring treatments to patients more quickly. So today we'll be discussing understanding respiratory syncytial virus disease. Let's first go over the ABCs of RSVs. There will be several acronyms in this presentation, so I want to level set us and talk about what each of these acronyms mean. So first, we'll start with RSV. RSV stands for respiratory syncytial virus. There will be certain populations that we'll be discussing, the first of which would be premature infants, and we describe them by their weeks gestational age, or WGA. We also will be discussing children with BPD or CLDP, which stand for bronchopulmonary dysplasia and chronic lung disease of prematurity. We will also be discussing children with CHD or congenital heart disease. Some of the organizations we will be discussing will be the FDA or Food and Drug Administration and the CDC, which are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Sobi is committed to raising awareness of RSV. Synagis or palivizumab is the only RSV prophylaxis approved by the FDA for high-risk patient populations. These include premature infants who are born at 35 weeks GA or less and aged 6 months or less, children with BPD or CLDP aged 24 months or less, and children with hemodynamically significant CHD aged 24 months of age or less. The term prophylaxis refers to a medication used to prevent disease. I'm now going to go over important safety information, so please pay attention. Synagis or palivizumab is contraindicated in children who have had a previous significant hypersensitivity reaction to Synagis. Cases of anaphylaxis and anaphylactic shock, including fatal cases, have been reported following the initial exposure or re-exposure to Synagis. Other acute hypersensitivity reactions, which may be severe, have also been reported on initial exposure or re-exposure to Synagis. The relationship between these reactions and the development of antibodies to Synagis is unknown. If a significant hypersensitivity reaction occurs with Synagis, its use should be permanently discontinued. If a mild hypersensitivity reaction occurs, clinical judgment should be used regarding cautious readministration of Synagis. As with any intramuscular injection, Synagis should be given with caution to children with thrombocytopenia or any coagulation disorder. Palivizumab may interfere with immunologic-based RSV diagnostic tests, such as some antigen detection-based assays. Adverse reactions occurring greater than or equal to 10% and at least 1% more frequently than placebo are fever and rash. In post-marketing reports, cases of severe thrombocytopenia and injection site reaction have been reported. So one thing to always remember, RSV is common and contagious. There are two major strains, RSV-A and RSV-B, and both co-circulate annually during seasonal outbreaks. Almost every child will get RSV by the time they're 2 years of age. Did you know that among infants younger than 1 year in the United States, RSV is a leading cause of pneumonia and bronchiolitis? RSV also causes approximately 16 times more hospitalizations than influenza. In the United States, the RSV season ranges from fall to spring, but varies by year and geographic region. This is the map of the United States, which shows you the different seasons throughout the country. RSV typically starts in the South, in Puerto Rico and Florida, and then spreads to the West and to the Northeast, and then converges somewhere in the middle of the country. Within Florida itself, there are 5 separate regions, which you will see off to your right. The CDC collects this data on RSV season's onset, peak, and offset, and are readily available at the CDC site. A baby's characteristics and environment can also affect RSV disease severity. So babies that are at risk for a severe RSV infection and then lower respiratory tract disease include premature babies, babies that are born with low birth weight, male sex, having siblings in the household, exposure to secondhand tobacco through smoking, a history of allergic diseases, no breastfeeding, and overcrowded living conditions. So how do you catch RSV? Well, RSV can spread when a sick person coughs or sneezes. And RSV can survive as long as 30 minutes on the hand and 7 hours on hard surfaces. The symptoms can appear 2 to 8 days after exposure, and reinfections throughout life are very common. Now, RSV can become a life-threatening infection for some infants and children. Although most infants experience common cold-like symptoms, anywhere from 25 to 40% of these kids can develop a severe respiratory tract infection. The common cold symptoms that we typically see would be runny nose, cough, and low-grade fever. But in those infants who go on to develop a lower respiratory tract disease include fever, cough, nasal flaring, increased rate of breathing, wheezing, abnormal expansion of the chest. And in infants that are small, they can be tired, they can have poor feeding, and irritability. With severe RSV disease, respiratory failure may occur. So who's at risk for severe RSV hospitalization? In the 3 groups that we've talked about, studies have shown that premature infants, infants with CHD, and infants with BPD have a significantly higher rate of hospitalization than full-term infants of the same age at less than 6 months. So preterm infants have approximately 2 times the risk of an RSV hospitalization versus full-term infants at age less than 6 months. Infants with CHD have approximately a 3 times increased risk of hospitalization versus full-term infants at 6 months. And infants with BPD or CLDP have approximately 13 times greater risk of hospitalization versus full-term infants at age less than 6 months. So why are premature infants more at risk for a severe RSV infection? Well, there are 2 reasons. Premature infants have immature immune systems and underdeveloped lungs. So if you look to the left of the slide, this is showing that full-term infants have significantly more maternal antibodies than preterm infants. These antibodies are something that infants get in the latter part of pregnancy in order to cover them with protection from all types of infections. So preterm infants have fewer antibodies from their mothers than term infants. Preterm infants also have smaller lungs and thicker airspace wall. So these infants already are compromised from a pulmonary standpoint. Their lungs are smaller and they have less opportunity to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide compared to their full-term counterparts. Infants and children with congenital heart disease or hemodynamically significant congenital heart disease have a problem with the structure of the heart, which causes improper functioning. About 1% of all babies are born each year with a congenital heart defect. Hemodynamically significant congenital heart disease are more severe and require medicine to prevent heart failure. So these children are already compromised from a cardiac standpoint. Infants and children with chronic lung disease, or BPD, or chronic lung disease of prematurity, have a lung disorder that's associated with premature birth and consistently have long-term breathing and lung problems. This may occur in those who required ventilatory or oxygen therapy and results from lung injury or immature lungs. About 14 to 43% of premature infants have this defect. Prevention is critical for RSV disease management. There is no vaccine available to prevent RSV. And when a child gets RSV, the only treatment is symptomatic. So when infants get RSV, they're treated with normal saline nasal drops. Adequate fluid intake and oxygen is a requirement. Frequent suctioning of mucus from the nose and mouth. And sometimes infants are put on a ventilator if necessary. In terms of prevention, for the majority of children, we use general preventive measurements. However, palivizumab may be appropriate for certain patients. There are several new treatments and preventive therapies that are currently being studied. So how to protect your child from RSV. These are recommendations from the CDC. The CDC recommends that we wash our hands often using water and soap for at least 20 seconds. To cover your coughs and sneezes, either with a tissue or coughing into your elbow. Avoiding close contact with sick people and keeping babies away from crowds, especially young children. Cleaning and disinfecting surfaces. And that includes washing babies' toys and bedding often. These strategies are reasonable and inexpensive. So again, I want to thank you for your commitment to protecting children from RSV disease. And remember that you are not alone. There are advocacy groups and organizations that are working to raise awareness of RSV and support patient-centered care. So again, thank you, GLO Preemies, for all you do. Thank you for inviting us to speak today, and we're always happy to help.
Thank you, Dr. Tara, for coming in and helping us learn all this great information. We are so grateful for you and our sponsor, Sobi. Okay, you guys, we have another poll. Remember, look down to where it says activity, click it, and then click where it says polls. You will have 2 minutes to take this poll, and then when you're finished, we will continue with our next presenter. Thank you all for taking the poll. Let's go ahead and get started with our next presenter. Our next presenter is Justin Edwards. Justin LaRon Edwards is a Sacramento native who is extremely excited to provide service for his community's real estate needs. He grew up and went to school all throughout Sacramento and the surrounding areas, making him very familiar from what the city has to offer. Justin is a proud husband, father, brother, son, and friend, among other titles. He has a large family and enjoys spending time with them, hanging out and eating great food. He likes all kinds of music, especially hip hop, rhythm, and blues. Although he was born and raised in Sacramento, he took after his grandfather's lead and chose to be a Lakers fan. Some other things that Justin enjoys aside from helping his clients close deals are exercising, being in nature, traveling, meeting new people, live music performances, and selling luxury watches and jewelry. Justin is a natural born leader and competitive by nature. These characteristics often assisted him to receive roles as a captain, team leader, or manager in his personal and professional life. He's also very hardworking, thoughtful, and dedicated, which are all traits that will help in almost any profession. He has excelled in his past roles involving sales, customer service, and construction, and also applies his insight and skill set from those fields to his real estate career. He is a member of the Sacramento, California National Association of Realtors and National Associations of Real Estate Brokers. He's passionate about helping his clients resolve situations in their lives that involve real estate, especially first home time buyers. He understands owning real estate and wealth have a great relationship and is excited to assist anyone who wants to not only own property, but also use real estate as an economic vehicle to generate wealth. GLO Preemies family, please help me introduce Justin Edwards.
Hey everybody, my name is Justin Edwards. I'm a realtor here in the Sacramento area. I'm with Keller Williams of Elk Grove, and I'm going to be providing you guys some information in regards to buying a home in today's market. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I want to congratulate you on just the idea of home ownership, because that's where it first starts. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Let's do some screen sharing. You may have to bear with me. I'm not the most technologically savvy when it comes to Zoom, but I can definitely help you close on a deal when it comes to finding your home. So give me 1 second so I can make sure this is right. Let's see here. All right, and we're going to share my screen. Let's go there. And it's not up. One last try. Let's see here. We go there, then we go there. Share applications. There we go. All right. Sorry about that delay. So I'm sharing my screen. You guys can see this, hopefully. Let's check it out. So thank you for joining me. We are going to buy a home this year, or hopefully next year, or whenever you're ready. That's when we're going to do it. Typically, I have my lender with me. I do these monthly home buyer workshops. Her name is Veronica Dewitt, and we do this together. This is a slideshow or a presentation from that, and the information is going to be the same. So why not let it go to waste? Okay. So again, thanks for joining us. Let's see here. All right, why homeownership? So here are a few fun facts or some ideas in regards to why would you want to buy a home? What's the point of being a homeowner? Well, one of them is you get a tax break. A nice incentive is the tax break. You get to control and own the land that you reside on. You can paint the house the color you want, change the style of the roof, all that good stuff, depending on your HOA situation. But that's something else. Equity is basically the profit after you subtract all of the fees, fines, and commissions. What you would have left from your home, you can borrow on that home even while you're still in it, aka refinance or a HELOC. And other things, if you sell it, you get to take that property or that portion of the profits. Education, they have done studies and it shows that people who own homes are more likely to have children that graduate college, and then stability. At the end of the day, you want to be able to have that peace of mind that you don't have to get up at a landowner's whim, right? We don't want to have to deal with that. So the pre-approval process, that's where we're going to get into the good information. Now, typically my lender would take care of that section, but because she's not here, we're just going to give you some information that's going to be needed. You're going to for sure need a photo ID. You're going to need your credit history, and you're going to need a proof of income, depending on your job situation, whether you're self-employed or if you're a W-2 earner. We're going to need those W-2 wages. And then also, if you're self-employed, we may need bank statements and things of that nature. So, buyer's agent checklist. There are two sides of a real estate transaction. One is the buyer's side, which is the person helping you find the home and purchase it, negotiate on your behalf. And then the other side is the seller side. The seller side is the listing side. That's the side of the person selling the home. They have an agent to represent them in their best interest on their behalf. So I will be your buyer's agent, right? I'm going to help you find that home. And I have a little checklist for myself. And then these are some things that you should also consider for the agent that's working for you if it's not myself. So one is you're going to help the buyer from contact to close. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to educate you. And there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to real estate. I know some of you may have had family members or friends who have bought in the past, and they're giving you all this information. A lot of it may be good, and some of it may be obsolete. So I'm going to make sure I educate you and get rid of any myths or miseducation or miscommunication that you may have had with someone that you spoke about real estate previously. The third is I'm going to delegate and oversee. There's a lot of different people and professionals that are going to be working to help us successfully close on the deal. So as your realtor, I'm going to make sure everything is going in accordance and we're moving down that timeline that we created in the contract. Fourth, I'm going to successfully close on the property that you want. And fifth, my goal is to provide a professional and a pleasurable experience throughout our time working together. Yes, at times you are going to get frustrated. Just keep in mind, if this is your first time buying a home, it's a step in the right direction to home ownership, and it's not your forever home. So you may have to take some sacrifices. You may get beat off on a couple of offers, but on the next go around, you'll be more informed. You'll have a little bit more money, hopefully, and we can find that forever home, right? So a buyer's consultation. What is a buyer's consultation? A buyer's consultation is going to be our first official meeting that is going to allow us to discuss what's going on, why, the must-haves, the dislikes, the likes, all that good stuff that you see listed here. So in the process of owning a home, first is the genesis of the idea. So you got that. Next is getting with a professional, either a realtor or a lender. If you get with the realtor first, they're going to give you information on what's going on, and then they're going to refer you to a good lender. If you get with a good lender first, they're going to get you pre-approved, and then they'll send you off to a good realtor. So in this case, you're talking to me, a good realtor. I'm going to connect you with a great lender in your area. I have a multitude of lenders that we can work with. And from there, after they get you pre-approved, we're going to have a buyer's consultation. Of course, I'm going to kind of do some investigative diving to see exactly where you're at, what kind of home you want, and all that stuff. But our buyer's consultation is going to be the official meeting, and we can do this over phone, over Zoom, or in person. I'm going to ask your why. Why do you want home ownership? If your why isn't strong enough, then this market may not be the market for you because it is very competitive. If you have a strong why, hey, I'm trying to build generational wealth. I want to own the land that I'm residing in. I want to have something to pass down to my kids, all of that good stuff. Then you got a strong why, we should be moving forward. Your must-haves. Your must-haves are deal breakers, things that you can or you will not go without. excuse me, not can go without, things that you must have and that you cannot go without. So a must have for one is going to be the price. If you have a certain price point and you don't have reserves to go over that price point, your must have is going to be X. And then from there, you may have a different must have. I know a lot of people, they may say, hey, I need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but I need a bathtub. If that doesn't have a bathtub, you're not going to move in it. And that's a must have. A little bit different than the likes. The likes are more so, this is what I would prefer. They're more so preferences. I would prefer this, but I don't have to have it. I would prefer a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, excuse me. But if all I can get is a 3, 2, and it's nice, I'll take it. I'll go over the home buying process with you, and then we'll do a quick question and answer session if you need it. Determine the best means of communication, whether that's text at nighttime, call in the daytime, email me anytime of the day, just call my husband or just text my wife, whatever the best mode of communication is, we can do that. I've had situations where the mother was always busy working and the son was going to see the houses for her. So, you know, whatever we need to do, we can get it done. And then connect and vibe. We're going to be meeting. We're going to be discussing things. We're going to see if this is a good connection. Are we going to be able to work together? Am I the right realtor for you? Are you the right client for me, right? And then from there, we're going to commit to working with one another. I'm going to do my best to represent you and get you that offer accepted. And you're going to do your best in letting me know exactly what it is that you want, allowing me to do my job and us working together. And we're going to agree to work together and we're going to go off into the sunset. My goal is to have you be a walking, talking billboard for me and my services. And also to help your children. I want you to say, hey, call Mr. Edwards. He can take care of you. He helped us buy X amount of houses in the past, right? So that's my goal. So after we get the buyer's consultation done, and you've already got pre-approved, you got your buyer's consultation done, you're well informed about what's going on in the market, and we know what we're looking for. More than likely, you're going to look online. I'll also provide you with my app, and whatever your favorite search engine is to go on to find homes, either it's Zillow, my KW app, homes.com, realtor.com, Redfin. There's a myriad of them out there, right? So whatever it is, you're going to go online and you're going to look for it. If you're familiar with the area, then we can just go ahead and check it out. If you're not familiar with the area, or if you're not really sure what the nightlife is like, you may want to check it out before we do a showing. But we'll do a showing. And after our showing, you'll let me know, hey, I really like this one. I want to submit an offer. Or, you know, this one isn't for me. Let's keep looking. Sometimes the pictures can be deceiving. As you know, we live in the Instagram, social media era, and everything is with a picture and a video. And there's filters on those. And sometimes the photographer, yes, they have filters too. So when you look at that home online, it looks nice and pretty and shiny. And sometimes it even looks better in person. Sometimes it's right spot on. And sometimes you just like, how did this home look like this online, but it looks like this in person? So we're going to want to make sure we take a look at that, right? Offer and acceptance. If you say, hey, Justin, I really like this property, and then we submit an offer. Our offer is basically the contract that we're going to write up. And within that contract, there are 3 contingencies that are going to keep you safe as a buyer. One is the inspection contingency. Another one is your loan contingency, and another one is your appraisal contingency. A contingency, again, it's to safeguard you and gives you a way out of the transaction. Although our intent is to move forward with the deal, things can come up, things can happen. There may be things that we don't know is going on with the property, and we won't be able to move forward. So those contingencies, I just want to discuss them a little bit further. The inspection contingency allows you to negotiate after you get a home and a pest inspection done with the seller. Either you can accept it as it is and you guys move forward, or you discuss what's going on and you guys can negotiate. Either they can drop the price, either they can help pay for things, or, you know, we can mix it up with one of those. The loan contingency is just to make sure that you can actually qualify for the home when it's all said and done, once we really start looking at your paperwork and get you that underwriter approval. And then So with the loan contingency, don't go buying anything with your credit cards. Don't do it. Don't go buy the furniture, the refrigerator, a new car, because you won't be able to qualify when they really ran your information. So don't do that. And then what's the other one? The appraisal. The appraisal is to make sure the value of the home is where it should be at. If you're buying a home with the loan, which most people do, they're only going to provide you with enough resources on that home for the value of it. So for instance, if we're in the market, we're looking for a nice 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and we find one at 450. If we're in contract and the appraiser comes and they say, hey, this property is worth 475, great, you have $25,000 worth of equity. If they say, hey, this property is only worth 425, your property is only worth 425 and your loan's only going to be worth 25,000 or 425,000. Now there's a gap of 25,000. You said that you're going to buy the property for 450. So the seller is expecting 450. They understand that now, hey, this property appraised for 425, but there may be somebody else out in the market that will pay 450. So that's our time to negotiate. Either you can walk away, the seller can cancel the contract, or you guys can have a meeting of the minds and move forward in that manner. So once we get our offer accepted, we move into escrow. If we don't get our offer accepted, we go back to the property searching, showing homes until we do. Escrow. Escrow is a neutral third party. It's a title company for the most part. And what's going to happen is once we get our offer accepted, escrow, it'll either already be open or it'll be open the next day. And from there, we're going to need to do a few things. And basically everything that we said we're going to do in the contract, escrow is making sure that that happens. So it's a lot of money at stake. You don't trust the seller and the seller doesn't trust you, essentially. One of the first things we need to do is deposit the earnest money. EMD, earnest money deposit, good faith deposit. It shows you have skin in the game. Typically in our area, it's about 1% of the purchase price. So on a $450,000 home, we're going to put $4,500 down. This isn't in addition to, this is included in the price. So you're not going to have to put 450,000 with the extra 4,500. No, this is going to be a part of that 450. This is going to be part of that. So no worries there. We're going to get the inspections done. I have a great company that I like to use. If you have someone else, hey, no worries, we can use them. We'll get the inspections done for our inspection contingency and make sure everything's good. We're going to get our appraisal done. The lenders will send out the appraiser, and they'll either contact myself or the listing agent to gain access into the property. They'll give us our appraisal. We'll do a final walkthrough of the property within 5 days of closing. So I maybe should mix this up, but these are all the things that happen within escrow. And then we're going to make sure our loan is funded. Funding is from the lender. And then we'll make sure we sign all of our documentation. And then once your home records with the county, that's when I can get you the keys. So if we get all the docs signed and all that good stuff early enough in the day, they can record the same day. If not, it will probably be the following day. Once I get you your keys, I'm going to give you a nice sign for you to say cheese with, and it's going to say sold. You're going to be extremely happy. All the ups and downs and all the fighting that we had to do to get your offer accepted is going to be just a thought and something that we laugh at. And I'm going to be your favorite person for those next few days. So again, you guys, that was buying a home in a nutshell. It was pretty quick. I can go into more in-depth detail with you, and I would love to. So, just give me a call. Congrats, you are a homeowner. My phone number is 916-710-3135, and my email address is jedwards916@kw.com. I'm actually starting my own realty group, and it's called Just Win Realty. So look out for that. And congratulations, you're a homeowner. I can't wait to work with you, your friends, and your family. And keep fighting the good fight, you guys. It's just a matter of time. There goes our information. If you guys can take it down, my license information and my phone number. And then again, my lender, that I'm partnered with, and that's her contact information as well. I hope this was very useful for you. And again, contacting you guys, and good luck out there. So again, I hope that was helpful. I'll see you guys soon. Give me a call. Thanks.
Thank you, Justin, for that wonderful information. At GLO Preemies, we want to see all of our families in their first home. If you have any general questions about real estate or homeowner buying, please email us at glopreemies@gmail.com, and we will make sure that Justin gets your questions. Now, we do have one poll coming up right now, you guys. So go ahead and get ready. Click activity and click on poll. And you have 2 minutes to finish this poll. Thank you all for taking the time to do our post today. We really, really, really appreciate all of the help that you are giving us to make this the best conference and program for all of our families. Now, our last presenter is Terry Randolph. Terry Randolph is a San Jose native. His passion for the care and skill development of all dog breeds led him to establish the Hardline Canine Elite Dog Training Company. Terry currently resides in Sacramento, where his passion for training has continued to flourish. Terry started as a general animal lover and owner. He has owned up to 5 dogs of various breeds, reptiles, and quite a few birds. His love for dog training began when his friends and family would seek his advice for their pet canines. As an avid believer in lifelong learning, Terry began in 2009 receiving mentoring from high-end trainers based in California and is determined to continue enhancing his training techniques. Terry is an active certified decoy, helper, and dog trainer. With the help of his local clientele based in and around the Sacramento area, Terry has developed for a positive reputation and is expanding his network via social media and referrals daily. GLO Preemies families, please help me introduce Terry Randolph.
Hello, I am Terry Randolph from Hardline Canine. The topic of today was how do we introduce a newborn baby to our family dog, to our family puppy. So there's a lot of things that take place in this, from the dog itself. Has this dog ever been around kids before? Has this dog ever been around babies before? And if so, how were the past encounters? So you have a lot of things to look at. I will be going over the do's and the don'ts. I will be talking about the different dog breeds. I will be talking about the different type of training that I think is required, when introducing a newborn baby to a living creature. So let's get into the different breeds of dogs and temperaments of different breeds of dogs. You have some dog breeds that are a little more high-strung, a little more possessive, that require a firm handler. Such as, Rottweilers, the Cane Corso. Shepherds can be high-strung at times. And then it also goes down to the genetics of the dog, right? Where does this dog come from? Are we familiar the type of dog that we have, that we own? So that's the first thing I would look at when it comes to me introducing a new precious baby to our family dog. Has our family dog been around kids before? Have we took our family dog to the cookout when it was a puppy and let it play with all the friends and family? Did we do all of those steps? Did we do the proper socialization for our grown dog, right? While it was a puppy. So you have to look at all of these different things. We would love for us to bring the baby home and the relationship for the dog and the baby just smush and just work excellent together, but that's not always the case. There are some dogs, that we have let just run free and give them all this freedom of our house to where that they feel entitled and they feel like that certain parts of the house is theirs, and we don't want the baby to start crawling into that part of the house, and the dog doesn't like that and displays some type of territorial aggression towards the baby. So you have to look at the whole round ballpark picture. Did we socialize our dog when it was a puppy? Did we apply proper obedience to our dog? Did we give our dog boundaries? Does our dog know what no means? You have so many different things to look at. Like I said, and aside from the breed of the dog, right? You have to really, really play it safe when you're introducing a baby to a family dog. Okay, so let's talk about prepping. How do we prep? How do we get ready? We are expecting and we have a dog at home. The baby should be here in a couple of months. What do we do? So there are a lot of different things that you guys can do. First thing I would do, right? I would start putting obedience into your dog, into the puppy. I would start giving the dog boundaries. I would start letting the dog know what no means. I would start letting the dog know what sit means, what down means, what stay means. Also, what the place command means. The place command is a really, really good command. It's a command that you guys can give a puppy or dog, and the puppy or dog will have to stay in this designated area, we use a cot, and or you can use beds, puppy beds, or so forth. But the puppy dog has to stay in this designated area until you release it, which I think is a fantastic command that you can use for your inside dogs, especially when you are introducing a new baby, you have guests coming over or whatsoever, right? So there are a lot of different things that you can do to prep for the baby coming home. But foremost, the dog definitely has to have training, you guys. And aside from training, we also want to make sure that we are doing our due diligence and making sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's, right? There is a high level of knowledge that I think we must have as dog owners and as parents. We never want to assume that because yesterday or because our friends had good dogs and yesterday was a good experience and we turned our back, we never want to assume that today we can do the same thing. I never would leave my child alone in the room with a dog, and I don't care how trained it is, you guys. Kids can be kids and babies will be babies, right?
Thank you so much, Terry, for that wonderful presentation, and I am sure our families learned so much today. Oh, you know what? Let's find out. Last poll of the day before we close, everyone. So go down, click activities, and let us know, did you learn anything new from this presentation? Also, if you have any questions or comments for any of our speakers, you can also email those to glopreemies@gmail.com or write them in the chat below. You have 2 minutes to finish the poll. Thank you again for joining us today. Thank you for participating. We hope that you enjoyed the presentations and learned something valuable. Remember, we are here to help you for 18 years after birth, and please feel free to use our services as much as you want or as little as you need. Nothing is mandatory. Keep an eye out for the NICU tour, and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at GLO Preemies. We are starting our YouTube channel soon, and our first YouTube actual show will actually be a book reading of my book, Black, Pregnant, and Shamed. Please keep an eye out for that as well. We look forward to seeing you all soon, and until next time, see you later, and thank you for hanging out.